The rain was biblical, hammering down on Willow Creek like the sky had a grudge. There stood Linda Voss, the HOA queen of this postcard-perfect Florida neighborhood, her permed hair a drenched mess plastered to her head. Her eyes popped wide, like she'd seen a ghost, as her gaudy two-story house slid into the river. Those tacky Roman columns, she'd bragged about at every meeting, crumbled to dust. That angel fountain she swore was straight from Florence. It bobbed downstream like a cheap pool toy. Just hours ago, she'd been grinning like a hyena, watching my Ford truck get towed at midnight, thinking she'd crushed me. How did Linda's night go from petty VY Tory to losing everything? Let's rewind to the start of this wild, karma-soaked mess. I'm Jack Sullivan, 63, a retired CIVYL engineer who moved to Willow Creek dreaming of a quiet life, some fishing, a cold beer, a porch chair to watch the sunset. Instead, I landed in a neighborhood ruled by Linda Voss, 58, an HOA president with the charm of a wasp and the nosiness of a bloodhound. Willow Creek's gorgeous neat bungalows, lawns so green they look fake, a river that sparkles like it's auditioning for a travel ad. But it's a trap. Linda's HOA polices everything. Grass over 2.5 inches? Fine. Mailbox not eggshell beige? Fine. Pick park on the street after 9 p.m.? You're basically a felon. Linda's house, a shrine to bad taste with fake columns and a fountain that gurgled like a broken coffee maker, sat smugly on the riverbank. As an engineer, I knew that river was a ticking time bomb. Trouble hit the day I moved in. I'm unloading boxes from my truck, parked on the street while I haul fishing rods and tools inside. Sweaty, knees creaking, I spot a neon pink envelope taped to my door like a warning shot. Violation notice. It screams, signed by Linda in cursive, so sharp it could cut glass. Parking past 9 p.m. is a crime, apparently. The note's tone was like a teacher catching you chewing gum. Compliance is mandatory, Mr. Sullivan, or penalties escalate. I've built bridges in hurricanes. I'm not sweating a parking ticket. So, I grab a tin of my wife's pecan brittle, sweet enough to win over a grizzly, and head to Linda's place. Her house looks like it's begging for a reality TV makeover over blown columns, a lawn mowed to boot camp precision, that fountain spitting like it's mad. Linda answers in a floral dress that screams, I chair the book club. I grin. Hey, I'm Jack, your new neighbor. Sorry about the parking. Honest mistake. Can we start over? She doesn't even glance at the brittle. Rules aren't optional, Jack. She snaps, her voice like a knife. Break them again, you'll pay. She slams the door, Leah VYing me, standing there, brittle in hand, wondering if I've moved into a gated community or prison. Linda didn't stop at one jab. She became my personal shadow, prowling Willow Creek like a vulture. I got fined $50 because my porch chair, a wicker keepsake from my dad, clashed with community aesthetics. Another time, she claimed my mailbox was off-center by 1.5 degrees. I'm an engineer. I've designed dams. That mailbox was perfect. Then there was the $25 fine for unauthorized leaf debris because one maple leaf landed on my driveway. Neighbors had horror stories. Mrs. Hensley, the 80-year-old widow across the street, got hit with a $75 fine for excessive roses in her garden. Mike, the dad next door, paid $100 because his kid's bike was VY Cybele in the garage for an hour. Then I heard the kicker. Linda's riverfront palace had been flagged years ago by a city inspector. Too close to the river, foundation shaky, at risk of collapsing in a storm. Linda, desperate to sell it for $1 million, buried the report faster than a kid hiding a bad report card. I tried to play nice. I repainted the chair, swept the driveway, studied the HOA rules like they were scripture. But Linda was relentless, cruising by in her silver SUV at dusk, headlights creeping over my lawn like she was hunting. I started calling her the lawn tyrant in my head. Then came the night she towed my truck, setting off a chain reaction that left her staring at a river where her house once stood. It was a muggy Friday, my garage half flooded from a pipe leak. I parked my truck on the street for a few hours while I wrestled with a wrench. Exhausted, I crashed around 11 p.m., only to be jolted awake by a screech like metal on gravel. I stumbled to the window, and see a tow truck, its lights flashing like a bad omen, hooking my Ford. And there's Linda, arms crossed in a raincoat, smirking like she's won the lottery. I yank on boots, charge outside into the humid drizzle. "Linda, what's this?" I yell over the tow truck's rumble. She turns, eyes glinting. "You park past 9 p.m., Jack," she says, voice dripping with fake pity. "Rules are rules." I'm fuming. "I'm fixing a leak, Linda. Cut me a break." She laughs, sharp and mean. Brakes are for people who respect the HOA. The truck lurches off, my Ford dangling like a trophy, Leah VYing me soaked in my pajamas, rage boiling. I call the towing company due law $400 to get my truck back, plus a fee because it's after hours. I'm pacing, cursing, when I notice the rain turning into a deluge, the kind that makes rivers roar. I glance at Linda's house, that tacky palace on the riverbank, and remember the inspector's report. Shaky foundation, erosion risk. A grim smile creeps up. Maybe the universe is about to do what I can't. By 2 a.m., the storm's a beast, thunder shaking the walls. I step onto my porch, the air thick with wet earth. Then I hear Ida crack like a tree snapping. I squint through the downpour. Linda's house is lit up, her silhouette in the window, probably typing another fine. Another crack, louder than a groan. The riverbank's sliding, taking her lawn with it. Her fountain tips, splashing into the water. Then, with a sound like a train wreck, her house lurches. Columns snap, walls buckle. The roof caves as the river swallows it whole. Linda runs outside, raincoat flapping, screaming, "My house!" She's slipping in mud, clawing the air like she can pull it back. I should feel bad, but after months of her nonsense, all I think is, well, Linda, the river doesn't care about your rules. Neighbors peek out, flashlights dancing. Mrs. Hensley whispers, "Good riddance." Mike's on his porch, a beer in hand, shaking his head. We're all thinking it. Linda's reign just got washed away. But I know she's not done. Bullies don't quit. I've been building a case against her, digging after Mike slipped me that inspector's report. I pored over HOA records, sweet-talked Mrs. Hensley into sharing old newsletters. I found gold. Emails from Linda to a shady towing company, promising them exclusive deals for a cut of every tow. Mi do la boncham. Part of it went to her. Invoices showed her cousin's landscaping firm overcharging the HOA triple. And the jackpot, a recording from an HOA meeting taped by Mike's wife, where Linda bragged, "Fines keep this place running, and I keep them coming." I gathered more misses. Hensley's due lot, $200 fine for Christmas lights. Mike's penalties for mailbox wear. Linda was running a racket, extorting us while hiding her own violations. After the storm, I called a backyard meeting. Neighbors brought coffee and chairs, faces mixed with shock and glee. I laid out the evidence emails, invoices, the recording, the inspector's report. Linda's been fleecing us, I said. The river took her house, but we need to end her grip. We planned clean, report her to the city for hiding the foundation issue, file a state HOA complaint with our Denke, and push for an election to boot her. A lawyer buddy, Tom, called a slam dunk. I got my truck back, shelling out due law $400, then emailed the city and state, attaching everything. We circulated a petition. Neighbors signed like it was a race, adding their own horror stories. Linda, holed up in a motel, sent emails whining about negligent city planning and vowing to rebuild. Rebuild with what? Her floral dresses? The city hit fast. Investigators poked through the wreckage, finding Linda lied about her property to dodge taxes and buyers. She got a fine that could have bought my truck twice. The state HOA board played her own words back to her. I keep the fines coming, and stripped her presidency, banning her for life. We held an election at the community center, coffee and cookies fueling the mood. Mrs. Hensley nominated Mike, joking he grills better than he fines. We capped fines at due law 10, requiring board approval. Linda sent a final email claiming sabotage. Nobody replied. She moved to a dingy apartment, reportedly bugging her landlord about hallway lights. Willow Creek bloomed misses. Hensley's roses returned. Mike's kids' bike stayed out. My tomatoes grew red as Linda's face. At a riverside barbecue, we toasted to freedom. Mike raised a beer. To Jack, who didn't let her win. I grinned. Nah, the river did the heavy lifting. Looking back, Linda thrived on fear, but she crumbled when we shone a light. If you're stuck with a Linda, dig for truth, rally your people, and let karma swing. Willow Creek's home, Agina, a place to fish, grill, and grow tomatoes without a clipboard lurking. That do law $400 for my truck. Worth it for this story. So what's your take? Was Linda a tyrant who deserved her fall? Or just a control freak in over her head? Should I have confronted her sooner or let the river handle it? Ever faced a bully like her? Drop your story below, hit like, and subscribe for more wild tales. I want to hear how you'd have taken her down.